a lot of people know that might have just flew over their head. But when you're saying you're making people personally liable, because that's why a lot of people, they'll open up the company, they'll catch people, and then they'll open up company B in the morning. So when someone is personally liable, they won't be doing them tricks.
They're accountable, right? Yeah. I think the days of that stuff are really gone when it comes to borrowing and lending money now. I think since the credit crunch of 2007, lenders have really, really bottomed out on personal guarantees, with the exception of what happened in COVID, right? Where governments around the world, I say around the world, but in the Western world were stepping in to help. I think in Great Britain in particular, we benefited a lot from that sort of support, but that sort of support is non-existent now, right? In the commercial world that we're living in. And the idea of any sort of lending without a personal guarantee is a non-starter. I mean, it's a fact. Look, the other part of this is that this is all unregulated lending. It's commercial finance. We work outside of any sort of regulatory framework, but we do follow the processes as if we were regulated. And fundamentally, the need for a personal guarantee just means that, as you say, no one can just walk away, because within that submission, that know your customer, know your business, we are using third parties to credit reference both the performance of the business and the performance of the individuals in terms of their lending exposure and how they've performed in terms of repaying those loans. So it's not an easy thing that someone submitting a lending request for a particular development can walk away from. And then on top of that, you're looking at things like the obvious stuff like their track record. What have they already built? What is their build cost? And a lot of the appraisal analysis is looking at how have they come to those costs and being able to validate those costs. And part of the role of that valuation process and that surveying process is to look at those costs. And during the process, an independent monitoring surveyor would be validating that those costs, that brick didn't cost £10 as stipulated, it cost £1, so that you can't influx, there's just, you remove the margin for bad reporting fundamentally, the potential for bad reporting. And so our approach to credit risk is actually central to being able to deliver both security and value to our token holders. And every development that we engage in is fundamentally providing the security to our investor base. So it's not just about the AI piece, although that is a core part of our innovation, the 3 pillars of AI we have in our solution. The real world assets is the thing that gives our crypto project that fundamental security and that base plate, because every single token is secured to one of our developments, and that's all on chain. All of that documentation is verifiable. It's recorded on chain and linked to the issue of our tokens.